Hi, y'all.
Hi.
I am already feeling emotional because this is going to be like the last time we're all together for a while.
Yeah.
And she just has to be so damn talented.
Well, I think it's wonderful and I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Same. And then I'll be gone because Vanna Live is on a Sunday. And so I'll be on the East Coast. So we're gonna have like guest host rotating in. Like how they do on like Regis and Kelly. Or that I'm aging myself. It's not Regis anymore, obviously.
Regis!
I know. That's how I think of it anyway. I don't know about what's his name. I even forgot his name. The one, the American Idol late.
I would have no way of knowing.
Ryan?
Oh, the American Idol
Ryan
guy.
C. Yeah, the American Idol guy, Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, Ryan. It was close.
Ryan
Kelly. I said Brian.
Kelly Ryan. Did she put herself in front?
I think so. She better had.
Kelly and Ryan.
You know, are any like younger folks watching who are like, I'm thinking like young Sprina fans are like, the hell are y'all talking about? Like straight up all around. All you need to know, Kelly Ripa, aka Haley Santos.
Oh,
legendary. And her and Mateo still look amazing.
My God.
The exact same, except she's not having wild hair and in weird goth makeup sans Tanya.
Oh yeah,
that was a walk down memory lane. Oh. Well, other than that, how was y'all week?
I had a pretty relaxing week, even though all hell broke loose in Oakland while I was gone. Lots of crime happened in Oakland this weekend, and so but I was home. I rewatched the last 4 seasons of Games of Thrones because House of the Dragon is out, if y'all don't know. So that's the Targaryen story, and it's on Amazon, and it started last week. And so after watching the first episode, I was like, oh, I want to watch it all over again. And so I marathoned the last 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. And that's pretty much it.
I'm not ready to be hurt again. I was a Daenerys fan. I feel like people could probably tell that from my fandoms. Like, I'm a Sammy Brady fan. I'm a Daenerys Targaryen fan. like, that's my type. And so, yeah, I didn't like it. I wasn't happy with the resolution of the show. I did watch the first episode of the new one. I mean, I probably will watch the second one and see, but it's also just like hard because it's just brutality for the sake of brutality. And I know how the story ends.
Right.
It ain't good for
yeah, like it's hard to get invested in the young Targaryen, like would-be queen, like the princess, because I'm just like, oh, well.
Sorry, girl.
I don't think you're gonna be queen.
Yeah. There are occasions where I'm for random violence. Like when I go to video games, I go to the ones where they're shooting and killing people because I just need to let out some aggression sometimes, you know. Yeah. Sweet Tanya has an edge to her.
Yeah. You can tell in the makeup.
Yeah. On occasion, I have an edge to me, and so sometimes I choose violence. So
I love Cersei. Okay.
I love Cersei. She was my fave, honestly.
And she also got done dirty.
She did.
Mm-hmm. Got done dirty, and she did dirty. She was about it.
The thing with Game of Thrones that killed me, and that makes recommitting to anything of them hard, is if we went through all of that for like women to rule everything and like people to get their good, but no. It was
Well, Sandra
another
was
story.
able to
Yeah, but she, the throne, the Game of Thrones that we were watching. Anyway, I just felt like here we are reliving our Game of Thrones feels. I felt like I tolerated so much of like the violence, especially the violence towards women, because I was like, oh, there's gonna be their comeuppance, and they kind of had it, but like not really. And so that's how I feel about. I want to see a Game of Thrones run by like non-men. I want to see one of the not one of. I want to see the rest of the spinoffs because there's like 20 in the pipeline, not directed by white men or not run by white men. And then I could be more wholeheartedly committed. But I'm talking shit and I'm still going to keep watching this one. But
yeah, you're talking.
And it's virtually like that's a wish that I don't know if it'll even come true because it's written by a white man. And I doubt he's gonna step aside or even concede power to. I mean, I think the fact that folks are just so mad that there's a Valerian who's black. I mean, folks are upset at that black man being in when he's supposed to be white.
I was upset about them braids, but not about him. Not about it.
Borrow from Tyler. They borrowed a wig from Tyler Perry.
He did borrow. It was a very Tyler Perry wig. I thought this is an HBO budget. What is this wig?
Right.
They got the GH wig budget.
Look, I did not like it. Anyway, so that was our week. Apparently, y'all ready to talk about everything that happened at GH? I was like, I'm actually really excited because I thought it was a good week.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So our Twitter friend Jen M asked this question, like, how would you explain storylines a la Am I the Asshole on Twitter? And so I'm gonna try to start doing starting all of the recaps with an Am I the Asshole question and then going into the recap. We'll see how long I can commit to that. Okay? So here we go. We're gonna start. So last year, I cheated on my wife because I thought our marriage was over. We eventually got divorced, and I'm now happy in a relationship with the woman I cheated with. In fact, it's the purest love we've ever known. My family doesn't accept her, and I've gone to court with her twice over various things. Those topics aren't important. One of my sons has sworn a vendetta against me. Am I the asshole for wanting her to come with me to a fundraiser at that son's house? So let's hop. Let's hop.
I didn't know at first. I was like, who is him? And then you were like, oh, I'm going to a barbecue. Right. And no, and then I'm an even bigger asshole for threatening my son's life because he had the gall to slam a door in my face.
Don't even get me started. All right, here we go. Curtis and Portia share time at the pool and celebrate Trina's freedom. In the midst of all their good news, Portia accepts, and our dear TJ randomly captures the whole proposal of Curtis on camera.
Curtis.
After clearing the air with Marshall, I like him now, so he's graduating away from Hat Daddy into Marshall. Portia sees Jordan at the Metro Court pool. Jordan overhears Portia on the phone about genetic testing and seemingly puts together that Curtis might be Trina's father. We also get a very nice Jordan and Anna scene, which I loved, where Jordan asked for advice and Anna said, why you gonna do it though? Which I thought was really great. Speaking of Curtis, Selena Wu made it very clear that he does not want her as an enemy and that she is calling in her favor for helping exonerate Trina. She wants a package delivered to the Savoy and doesn't leave room for Curtis to refuse, though initially he tried. In what was clearly some Twitter timeline trolling, Roy tells Trina that he is worried that she will find him boring and think, and she tells him she thinks their relationship is one-sided. From their conversation, we find out that he does graphic novels and he cooks, which I found to be another troll because considering how people have been dragging his brownies. Trina heads to the pool with Rory and finds out about the Curtis engagement, but she also sees her real bae, Spencer. Now, I'm not going to say our niece is down bad, but our niece is down bad because the way she was looking at Spencer, Rory was not her boyfriend. She talks with Spencer about heading to Pentonville, and carceral Rory tells him that his friend is a PO or a CO, and he could try to pull some strings to get him in the library. Rory, bro. My child is a prince. We're pulling royal strings, not carceral strings. Thank you. Anyway, Sunny tries to convince Nina to come to the accused fundraiser, and in a stunning bit of self-awareness, she says she doesn't think she should go because it will be awkward and she wouldn't be welcome. Apparently, Sunny is not welcome either. After Willow makes a decision to hold off on chemo to her second trimester, she attempts to tell Michael that she has cancer at all. And when Sunny shows up and Michael slams the door in his face, which was my second favorite petty Q moment of the week. Continuing at the Q mansion, Leo mixes up a batch of Sicilian Thunderbolt because he's tired of his siblings not moving their relationships along, two of them being with each other, but no relation. This leads to Sam and Dante having many tender moments where they reaffirm their commitment to each other and decide to move into Sam's penthouse. Hashtag Lulu stay sleep. BLQ and Chase have a real kiss, and despite a detour, looks like they are finally on the road to being a real couple. And then there's crew. Drew Lavery is on the grill with no seasoning, both literally and metaphorically, if we're being honest. But y'all know I love them together, so let's move on. Carly goes full Caroline and is like, so do you like me or what? Because people have been saying you've been flirting with me, and I've been saying you flirting with me. Anyway, they make out in the boathouse and burn the food. Olivia finds out there's a fire on the ground while she's upset and looking for the desserts that she had delivered to the Metro Court instead of the house. But no need to worry, Nina to the rescue. After getting the read of a lifetime from Leo, which was my favorite petty Q moment, she hears about the fire and runs out like a cartoon character, but she does witness that crew chemistry. When she mentions it to Sunny, he really seems like he doesn't care and wants to focus on them. Also at the Q's is Terry and Yuri, who actually do drink Leo's concoction, and they make a cute little connection. I think they have chemistry, and I hope that they also have a storyline. Finn and Liz make out in the stables. He goes to get a blanket, and Liz sees that she gets a call from her sister. They argue, and Finn tries to justify his actions, saying he's worried about her mental health, which is strange because he was not so worried about her mental health if he wasn't about to sleep with her. Elizabeth breaks up with him and runs off. She has a flashback of her past and comes to the present with blood on her forehead. What you doing, Biz? Austin is also at the function with his shady cousin, and the shady cousin makes threats towards Maxie, which Ava may or may not have overheard. Mac and Felicia have a very awkward meeting with Cody, and Cody won't stop bringing up Faison and Peter to Britt, like a loser and a weirdo. Anna continues to investigate Valentine and pushes Lucy to flirt with Victor for more information. We got a good amount of Anna this week, and of course I want more, but I enjoyed every bit. And finally, the Cassidines acting a fool at the Quartermains. Ava and Nicholas fight. Victor threatens Ava and Valentine. Spencer hides in the stables. It's a lot. But we got the showdown we've been waiting for. Spencer walks in and hears that Nicholas slept with Esme. I won't go further into that because I'm sure we're going to deep dive all into that in our future talk. But we end the week with Ava being attacked with a fish hook and bleeding out, leading us to a whodunit. And that's our week. What did y'all feel? What was your favorite moment of the week?
Woo! Well, it was a really good week. It was really solid. It was nice to have most of the town at an event. When was the last time that happened? It had to have been before the pandemic. And have all these different stories gain momentum, and some of them even like culminate in big moments. There was many romances. I didn't like all of them, but they were there, and there were ones that I really liked. And I don't remember the last time I really like there was like a real Friday cliffhanger like that. So Friday was all around really excellent. I haven't been doing much rewatching of like whole episodes just because of capacity, but I did go back. I was feeling a little sick Saturday morning, and I was like, let me watch my child embarrass his fake father. This'll make me feel better. Because that was my favorite moment. I mean, out of a week of really excellent moments, Nicholas Chavez, Maura Wested. There was, the begging his father to deny it. Oh, the devastation when he confirms it. Oh, plus like all the dynamics between Spencer and Ava, like it's starting earlier in the week and then culminating here. And like also like they've been kind of dodging these little hints of humanity that they've been showing each other, like starting to acknowledge it, and then one of them will do something to blow it up. But it was interesting that of course there was the slap. And then like Nicholas tries to be like, the truth hurts, doesn't it, Ava? You little bitch. Anyway, sorry, this is about what I like. And that moment where Ava looked at Spencer and like saw how devastated he was and said, why don't you ask your son? That was like, and then Spencer even defending Ava to Nicholas. Just give them the awards. No. Give it to them. I don't want to wait until next June.
All right.
I don't want to wait for my life to be over.
I want to know right now, did they get their Emmys? I'm going to answer the question for the Academy. It is yes.
Tanya, what about you?
Do you want to go first? Because I usually kind of go into my performances.
I mean, obviously, I feel like we praise Nicholas Chavez like every week that he's on. I kind of like roll my eyes when other like soap sites like give him Performer of the Week. I'm like, of course, whatever. But this week it was like, oh no. I mean, he just is so solid. He shows up every time, and so I'm sure I will say more about that after you give Performer of the Week, but my favorite moment, just on some petty shit, was Leo and Nina. Like, I loved it. Leo was like, because I just love children reads. And he was like, you used to be Wiley's grandmother.
Used to be.
Leo! What the hell? And then he was like, my mom said you still Carly's business. And it wasn't just he said it. It was that he like laughed about it and then took a drink. I was like,
he was very matter of fact about it. And he was like,
my mom said you took our Carly's business.
It's Leo's world and the rest of us are just living in it. And you know what? I like it that way. I want more story to be pushed by Leo. He really delivered this week.
He's really the driver. I also really loved the crew moment because like I'm the kind of person who has a crush, and like I will like have gotten together and broke up with my crush in my head before like we have even spoken. So like Carly just being like very direct, it was like, so bro, are you flirting with me? We flirting? What we doing? I just like really appreciated it because it's very much not me. So I loved that. And then Anna like throwing playing cornhole with Valentine's head. How could you not love that? It was amazing. Like he was there, he did what he needed to do. And then apparently Anna's a really great cornhole player, which of course she would be. So those are my favorite moments. What about you, Diane?
Okay, yeah, I have to agree 100%. Leo and Nina cracked me up, and I made a video about it, and it was just like, it was hilarious. Obviously, Nicholas Chavez knocks it out of the park again, and it wasn't even the Friday Thursday and Friday where he finds out about Nicholas and Esme. It was before that when he had the scenes in the horse stall where Nicholas was saying, you know what, when you get out, we're gonna go sailing, we're gonna do all this. And he turns around and there's tears in his eyes, just brimming. His eyes were brimming. And I was like, oh my God, I just wanted to hug him. It was so good. It was so perfect. And it made it even more poignant, as in, like, because he was wishing to have this awesome time with his dad once he gets out, only to be devastated again by his betrayal. That was heartbreaking in the extreme. My other favorite moment, and these are basically my performances of the week. My other favorite moment, which wasn't a performance of the week, but it should be, because I think Lucy and Victor's scenes were so funny. I loved it. I loved how Valentine was like, I'm gonna take a picture of this and tell on you. And then Victor was like, delete the picture. He did. But it was so, like, Lucy was like holding on to the pickle jar, like right at her chest. She was being super obvious, and Victor was being super obvious at staring at it. It was like just a master class. It was great. I enjoyed it. But I want to shout out, I don't know if it's a favorite performance or not, but Roger Howarth is back. Okay, he's still playing the same character, but his personality, Roger Howarth, the actor, shined through this week. You know, when he was threatening crazy cousin with the nerve and then being jealous over the girlfriend, which, I mean, obviously the character and the story I don't get, but I clearly saw Roger Howarth's acting chops this week. And so I'm like, welcome back, Roger. Thank you, writers, for giving him something to work with, even though we still don't understand it and don't know what's going on. But he's clearly back in a groove of some sort, and maybe we'll find out what that is, what the story is, and why. But he was definitely not phoning it in this week, so I appreciated that. But yeah. And I'm gonna have to give it to Cynthia Watros for playing against Easton Rakenswita to make it the funny. I mean, yes, Leo dragged her, but her reaction to it kind of helped with the dragging, because he was like, you used to be, Homer's grandma, and she was like, I still am. And so it was a good performance from both of them. So I'm giving it up to Easton Rakenswita and Cynthia Watros, and then, Nicholas Chavez and Maura West for Chavezing and Westing. And yeah, shout out to Roger Howarth being back. But this week was great. It was everything. I mean, especially Easton Rakenswita, because he was the catalyst for the whole story around the love potion. So he carried that well. His conversations with his mom, his worry over who drinking what. And when the funny thing is, it was like he was like on the table talking to Ned, and I was like, you know, in a black house, this would not be allowed. But I let it happen because it was, I mean, he was just sitting on the table, and I was like, "Get your feet off the table, little boy." But it was still great. It was all great. His performance all week was great. So I'm gonna give him a shout out, and Nicholas and Mora.
Can I say something about what you were talking about with Nicholas Chavez? I had this in my notes. So like when you talked about it with the stables, I was like, that's exactly one of the things I wanted to note too, which is like, it's not just the big performances with him, it's the skill he brings to every performance. And so it's interesting because there was a Facebook Live with Charles Shaughnessy, who plays Victor, JPS, who plays Valentine, and then Marcellus. And it was really nice because they asked them about Nicholas, and Marcellus actually didn't even answer, but it was just JPS and Charles, and like the respect that these like very talented vets had for him, and like his skill. Like they talked about him with like the same level of like respect that they talked about Mora when they asked him about Mora. And I just thought that like, how special is that for someone so young?
Yeah.
And so the scene in the stables were really amazing. And what I really appreciate about him is that the writing right now is like this mix of like self-awareness and like pain, which is why me, as someone who doesn't ever really want to see man pain, is like enthralled by what he's doing. It's like the very small things. Like when Rory was like, "You call me Rory," he was like, like it was very Kerry Washington and Little Fires Everywhere. Like,
like, yeah,
like,
I'm not
it was just my favorite Kerry Washington thing. And you know, like Nicholas's vulnerability, like really, like the vulnerability he brings to Spencer makes you care for Spencer. And so I think that there's like a thing that's like really difficult to almost like, even I do it, where like it's hard to like see where one of them ends and one of them begins, which is why I think like people are really protective of him, and like such big fans of him, especially like in the soap world, because we see actors all the time. And it's really different than other mediums. So like someone like Nicholas is like extremely famous to like GH watchers, and people who don't watch GH are like, who are y'all talking about? And so like it's this very interesting like thing to be so good at your craft and so at the top of one thing. So every time he puts out like a really great performance, I'm like, damn, we're not gonna have him for that long. It's like, it's so clear that he is like just so committed to this, and that he's like obviously grateful for this opportunity and is like putting his all into it, which is why we love it. But he just does nothing but like show this vulnerability. He did a really great job, even in the moments of like showing how much he didn't care about Esme, but how betrayed he was by his father. Like when he was like, I really wish that you would have been doing this to get back at me, but you don't consider me. And I felt that. And then I want to say one other thing about not just them, but I had posted something about how like it's really hard to watch this as somebody who's like a fan of like the younger Spencer and Nicholas's relationship. And it's not, I do think that writers write for certain actors. And I'm not saying that like Tyler's Nicholas or another Nicholas wouldn't have gotten even maybe a storyline like this, but I do think it would have been different. The response to him would have been different. Like the gaslightiness of him would have been different. It's just really difficult to watch because so much of what was bad about Tyler's Nicholas, and they really wrote him into a corner when he was leaving last time, you know, when he faked his death. Like he was pretty much a mess. But the one redeeming quality he had was Spencer. And so like the fact that that's no longer, like he just literally has no redeeming qualities, I think is a writing choice based on the actor. And you can even tell in the ways that the scenes are shot that like Nicholas, like that Spencer's point of view is the point of view that you want to see, that they want you to care about. It's not about Nicholas Cassadine, it's about Spencer Cassadine. And so I think that, like, when I say, oh, I couldn't see this with Tyler, it's not like this erasing of who Tyler's Nicholas was. Like, I'm really clear about who that was. But I think that there is something about what you write because a character can handle it, what you write, or like because an actor can handle it, and what you write when your storyline is going a certain place for a character. Because we know that Nicholas Chavez gets this writing because he can handle it.
Yes.
So
yeah, and it's, the characters are a collaboration. They're not solely the creation of the actors, clearly, but they're also not just the creation of the writers. And so when you change actors, the character does have to change. And we've seen lots of characters be recast where the writing is totally different, and then they'll like shift back to the original actor and the writing will go back to be more in line with the way that actor portrayed the character. So yeah, like, Nicholas Cassadine has always been a mess, to be clear. He was introduced an insufferable brat. And he was developed out and stayed around because Tyler is so talented. And so just 100% agree, mostly. And go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, it's funny when you say that, the way that Nicholas Chavez performs, you can tell that we don't have him for long. And I kept thinking about how the writers are writing his story. And I'm really afraid of him going to prison, because I feel like that almost is a perfect time for him to exit and go somewhere else. And so I don't want that.
He has a longer contract.
I know, but if it's like an irrational fear, like if he's not on screen almost all the time, then he can go looking and he can go get another job, and I don't want that to happen.
No, he can't, because he's contractually bound.
I know that in my head, but I'm just like, no.
I got you. I get it.
He on screen. And then, the fact that they're hinting that he might be the cause, or all these little things, just usually in someone that's not on contract the way he is, it portends an eventual exit. And I don't like it. But I like it because it gives him these great meaty stories for him to act out. And then, yeah, I totally agree with, it's the same with Nicholas Cassadine, Marcellus. They're writing him into a corner.
Right.
And then he even furthered that no redeeming quality by flashing on Ava the way that he did.
Yeah.
Never going to get back to him after he said that about, you just want to get back at me because you couldn't heal with your daughter. That was low. That was super low. That was below the belt. She's never going to go back to him. Ever. So he has nobody except for Victor, who's just pulling strings anyway. He has nobody that cares about him. And Laura is probably going to be like, what the fuck, dude? However Laura goes, what the fuck, that's what she's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's getting exit writing, it's Marcellus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's who I feel like. I'm not nervous about it. I pray for it every day. But this is even more intense than the writing that Tyler was getting when he was being written off. Because there was still some point of view that was sympathetic, even outside of Spencer. There was still some kind of draw there where you wanted him to turn it around, because Tyler knows how to earn it. Like, he knows how to look at that and be like, okay, so how do I realistically and compellingly get my character there? And you know, this other person is not, but
And this other person. I think that's also what Nicholas Chavez was able to do with Sydney to build Sprina. Because like if you look, and that's why I'm always like, y'all, people who don't like Sprina, like they'll get there. It's fine. Once they get together and you see what they're gonna do on screen together and the magic that Tabiana and Nicholas are gonna make, it'll be fine. But like if you pull yourself out of the charm of what like Spencer Cassadine is and who he is, and like look at just that story, you could be like, huh, it's easy to poke holes in this. And the reason that we didn't, and the reason that we are bought into this story is because of the dedication of the actors, of both, of really three actors, of Tabiana, of Sydney, of Nicholas. Because like lying to somebody for months and showing up with your girlfriend and she got to watch it is like not quite the love story that we love, but they made that work because they know how to be compelling. Lesser actors would have never been able to make that work.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's working? Speaking of what's working.
Well, I was actually gonna say Sprina. So thanks for setting that up. Love a surprise Sprina. It was on the day too that we got the Rory and Trina grow closer spoiler. So I see what you did there. You trolling the Sprina fans. I am Sprina fan. I feel trolled, but I liked it. I thought it was interesting because I mean the dialogue they gave Rory was, you know, whatever. Like I was like, I see what you're trying to make him, give him something, which sure, okay. I was like, that was kind of cute. Like the energy was kind of cute. Not him, Tabiana. But then they show up at the pool and Spencer's there, and it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to Rorita. Embarrassing. Wonderful for Sprina. That like draw to Spencer, so masterfully played, and then him staying away for her own good. It's a great trope for a reason. It's like one of my favorite tropes. And while I did say the other day, okay, I'm tired of Spencer suffering.
And me, it was like,
I am not though. I've reassessed. I love the angst. Like I love watching them play it. I want to see more of this like mutual longing because we haven't seen Nicholas and Tabiana get to play this, and it really works. So I want to see more of it. And I really like how it's a little different now. Like there's a gravity to Spencer's longing that didn't really exist before. He was actually completely unhinged and unrestrained before. So much so that he was doing it in front of Esme like all the time. And now you can see that there's the longing still there, but it's much more subtle. It's more grounded. It feels more mature. And I love, don't get me wrong, love Hard Eyes Spencer. But this is very like, I'm a leading man. I'm not a child anymore. I have a man's longing or whatever. And I loved when Trina just walked away from Rory. Just walked away like he wasn't even there. And was trying to justify what Spencer did to Spencer. But you went back. Girl, same. I feel the same way. But it was so funny because she had been so angry with him about breaking out. And so it's that like head and heart push and pull that's very classic Trina. So I just felt like I loved, of course, the Sprina scenes that we've been getting lately, but this one felt like fun, but also angsty. And we got more of like the triangle vibe that we actually wanted. So it's not quite the triangle we wanted. I wanted Rowena to be more compelling than it is, but this little dynamic really worked for me. Bad Anna really worked for me, like Anna being a little bad. is like, she's just so single-mindedly fixated on finding out what Valentine's up to that she's not playing as nice as we've been seeing her play more recently. But Anna's got it in her. Like, don't forget, this is Anna Devane. So she's blackmailing Martin, blackmailing Lucy, fantasizing about throwing beanbags at Valentine's head. She's a ruthless queen, and we stand. And just shout out to the Sicilian Thunderbolt. I loved it. What a great trope. What a great device. It got stuff moving for Sante, Cholin, my God, and even corny ass crew. So, you know, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Nona. Thank you, Olivia. And thank you, Sicilian Thunderbolt.
Yeah, I'll be quick for this part because Sprina's also working for me. For all the reasons you said, and I think the triangle piece is like exactly what you said, which the only way it works is if we get to see Sprina together. It's not like Rowena is developing this boring ass relationship and then like Spencer's off. Like, we want to see the interaction. Like, we want to see that's like Trina not being able to stay away from him at the pool. I cackled. I was like, our niece is down bad. Like, baby girl, move around. Like, you cannot do this. I love it though. Do more. Like, it was like that sentence, that run-on sentence. It was how I felt about it. And I loved there's like a pull between them. And so we're really getting a chance to see Tabiana and Nicholas like develop out what their chemistry is, because their chemistry is different, as it should be and as it was always going to be, than like the last version of the couple. But we haven't been able to enjoy this version because we haven't seen it. They never let them be together. And I get it, like, it's probably really difficult to put these two scenes together because they are so good. And so everybody's just like moving along. And I am everybody. Let's move this shit along. I'm so split because I agree. I do love the longing. You know, I love some angst. I'm a child of 90s WB shows. I love me some angst. And I'm also like, I've been angsting for over a year. Let's do it. So yeah, but they just like the two of them together, so good, working completely for me. What about you, Tanya?
I won't add too much except to say I think it's interesting watching the other actors and witnessing Sprina. Because I was thinking about the courtroom scenes and how like Diane and Ava and all of them were kind of just watching them too, and the drama between them too. And how I think it's probably really fun for them to be able to see this budding romance, and then having these two great young actors do their thing. It's probably really fun for them to watch and be a part of and to witness, not only as characters, but as actors. I just kept thinking about that, and it reminded me, and I know some of you guys don't like Harry Potter, but it reminded me of this scene in Harry Potter where Dumbledore was watching, Hermione and Ron in the hospital scene, because they were all just commenting on this young romance and as adults, and just remembering how they were in a romance and what that was like, and being able to witness these young people experience that. And so I think it must be fun for the vets to be able to watch Nicholas and Tabiana do their thing as an actor and just watch this. And I think Ava, like we said, Ava's team Sprina, she's on the ship and she's like the co-captain and all that good stuff. And so want to see that together. And I think she wants to see them happy, even if she gives Spencer the side eye. So, I'm excited about it. What I think in general, what worked for me was this week really worked for me because we got to see the ensemble. We got to see a silly story, but ended up surprising us in how it ended in two ways. Not only we were surprised at the fact that it was actually Terry and Yuri that got the potion. And it was a wonderful surprise because they have great chemistry together. And so we get to see that romance blossom. But then we were also surprised by Ava getting, hit with the fish hook, because that was totally unexpected. Even though we knew something was going to go down, but I was satisfied with the reveal of Nicholas sleeping with Esme. I was totally not expecting violence to happen. And so that was really, that's what made this really good, because, and I think that may have been their, replacement for their nurse's ball, but I like that it was totally different because it was totally unexpected. It was basically nurse's ball outside at the Quartermaines, but we weren't expecting it to be like that, and so it was great.
And no performances.
No singing.
And no performances, and that was fine because we still got the drama, we still got the ensemble casting. We got everything. It was like a cheaper nurse's ball because they didn't have to wear all the fancy dresses and do all the guests and, all that good stuff. But it was, it was still great. We still got and I don't know if it's sweeps day. Is it sweeps? No. It was totally a sweeps week that was unexpected. This is the sweeps we deserved. And we were swept. Definitely. So yeah. I loved it. I was just like, Cliffhanger Fridays are back. So
I have to admit, I was a little on guard about Terry and Yuri. I was like, Tracy, I don't know if I like this. What is this? What is this gonna be? How do we know? What do we know about Yuri besides he likes Monica? What is this? And then me on Friday, he jumped fully clothed into the pool to get her necklace. That's really cute. So I'm watching you, GH. Give them a story. But I approve.
What I love about like the chemistry that Cassandra James has with people is that they just like look so smitten.
Yes.
Like it's just she's so good. I love her, and I really do hope that this is not something that we just see once a month or every other month or whatever. I really hope that this becomes something.
Mm-hmm. So, I didn't immediately launch into it, but I'm perfectly happy to do so. But Tracy, what's not working for you?
I have two things. Two characters actually that are not working for me. One of them being Michael Corinthos. It's just bad. It's bad. The story is bad. Everything is stupid. And like I think that there are times when like I don't like characters, but if it doesn't impact the rest of the quality of the story around it, I'm like, whatever. Like I don't like Nicholas Cassadine right now. I specifically don't like Marcellus as a portrayer, but there's so much good stuff around him, like him not being great is like kind of the reason we get like a really strong Spencer, like all of that. With Michael, there is no, like, it actually drags everything down. We actually get to see Katie and Willow come alive when she's not with him. She's a much better character when she's not around him. That's a problem. Them writing him in this way that he like is trying to get back at Sunny. I mean, now I did crack up when he slammed the door in his face. I loved it, but the motivation is dumb. We gotta give Carly's kids something to do besides be motivated by what happened to Carly. And the show doesn't know how to do that. Even in the preview, and I know Sandra, you'll talk about this in the preview, but they posted a preview on ABC that was like Jocelyn going off on Nina. And it was like Jocelyn goes full Carly. Why? She went full Jocelyn. She actually didn't need to go full Carly. She's a full character outside of that. And so it would have been much better, and I don't know why they dropped this thread, if we would have found out that Michael knew that Sunny had a hand in helping Brad get out of jail. because then it would have made sense for him to have this vendetta. And then he could have brought back up in the same ways that we see Spencer, which is why the Spencer and Nicholas thing works so well, is that it's about everything that you've done. I've actually forgiven you for so much. This is the final straw. And so, like, if it would have been that with Michael, where it's like, I've forgiven you for getting me shot. I've forgiven you for like having your business around me. I've forgiven you for killing my dad. I've forgiven you for all of these things. And you cheated on my mother and you helped the person who kidnapped my child get out of jail. These are the final straws. But without that, it's not compelling. It's just like a prop for Sonny so that he doesn't look so bad because, oh my God, look at poor Sonny. His family is mean to him. It doesn't work. It's bad. So that's one thing. And then the other character is Nina. And it's interesting, and I only bring it up. I was just like browsing the timeline maybe yesterday, day before. And I don't know if you know about this, Tony, and I'm definitely, well, let me start over. I don't know if you know about this, but at one of Mo's like live shows in Southern California, on the timeline, they were talking about like there were fans there who kind of like booed and were heckling Cynthia. And I was like, that's really fucked up. I mean, I put up a whole thread about it. And like, what I didn't appreciate about it, about the way it was presented, it was like almost like this fan war thing that was like, oh, Laura Wright needs to step up and say that this shouldn't happen. And I was like, whoa. What happened to Cynthia was super fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. But these were Maurice Bernard fans, no? They were at his show. So like, I'm going to see Crew in a month. And if someone is getting heckled, I'm not going to be like, this is the fault of a different fandom. I'm going to say it's this person's fault, not even an actor, but this person who did it's fault. And I think that all of that to say is that they have written, and there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that behavior, and I think that the writers have done like an actress who has like such like a resume like Cynthia's no favors in like writing her character this way, because we actually know that she could play something besides this. And so it's really unfortunate for her as an actress to have to deal with like whack ass fans who do something like that to her, and to have to deal with this whack ass writing. Because I would imagine that even fans of the character are not fans of this writing for her. And it actually drags down her as a character because she's a lead. She is a lead. She is like, it's like the three people who have the most amount of episodes are her, Mo, and Laura Wright. And so if Cynthia's gonna be there as a lead, then you need to write Nina as a lead in a story that like is compelling and is worthy of like someone who has been in the business for as long as she is. And it's just really not working for me. I was really surprised actually, because I think that there's something around redemption arcs. Because when I saw that Ava was getting stabbed, and I was like, damn, what for what? How many times does Ava have to be in the hospital? She is redeemed. Like, leave my girl alone. And I was actually surprised it didn't happen to Nina. Because imagine how compelling that would have been for that character who people feel like hasn't been through enough to like be like fighting for her life, for people to have to put aside all of their drama, for like a Carly to have to be like, oh fuck, she's fighting for her life. Do I tell Willow that her real mom might die? Like all of these things that could have happened that could have been better for this character are like now happening to Ava, which doesn't make sense. Yeah, so I saw somebody say something like, I think the reason I brought up the heckling is I saw a status that said something like, I think that the way Nina is treated by like prominent characters or something like that is like the reason that people don't like Cynthia. I don't necessarily think if I would make that connection, but I would say about the character of Nina is that the reason people are annoyed by Nina is that she hasn't actually faced what people feel like are consequences. People want to see, I mean, because even when like people will say like, oh, Carly hasn't ever been through anything, because they don't consider certain things that are brought upon you by you to be consequences. So not seeing Wiley is not a consequence, or like not like a redemption consequence. Because girl, you thought you were supposed to see him after this? Like, what is the thing that happens that actually like cements her to the storyline, that like catapults her into a lead, that makes her sympathetic, and that turns around the way the character is seen? Because right now, the way it's seen for me drags down the full story. So that's why she's not working for me as a character.
So you didn't like her desserts?
I mean,
that was leading lady material.
It's also like living in Nixon Falls. Like, stop. This was not a sexy time. It was a time when she like was keeping him from his family, and everything that they do, they keep referencing back. Like, oh, you're gonna reference back the fire where he got his memory from when you were keeping him from his family that started because you didn't tell on Peter because you were lying. Like, that's not like, you actually should get people to move past how they got together and put them into like a current story, as opposed to like continuing to lean back on their genesis, which was problematic.
Well, that's what the desserts were for, right?
Oh,
she got desserts and put them in her car. That was harrowing.
She's the hero now.
The hero, she desserts. And we didn't actually, did we get to see the dessert? No, because Olivia made her own dessert with s'mores.
I don't even know. I mean, it's just even like her and Sunny are getting the like low grade, low budget version of the story I wanted for Sprina, which is like, nobody wants to see us together. Our families like don't like us. Look at us against the world. Like, that was kind of the story that I thought they were like headed towards for Sprina, and they're giving it to these adults.
Well, she showed them because she brought dessert. That's all that I picked up on their storyline from this week.
No, for me, I don't like how now their romance or their love is about everybody else. Like, he has to shove her into everybody's face, and to force people to accept their relationship. He's never had to do that before. Even when, he left Carly for what's her name, Kate. He didn't have to do that with Kate. No one cared. He was with Kate. He was with Kate. Right. But he's just like, oh, you have to go to this party and people are going to have to respect you because I don't want anyone to disrespect you. Or we're going to have dinner in a restaurant that Carly owned to show that, you own the hotel now. And so people should respect you after you stole it. I mean, everything is about everybody else and not their relationship. And for me, what's not working is Sunny and his attitude that he has to put her in everybody's face. Mm-hmm. And now he's like so offended by Michael's shenanigans that he has the right to threaten Michael's life over a door in your face. You are not that important, honey. Okay? So why do you feel that you can threaten someone's life because they shut the door in your face? Because you were in a place where you were clearly not welcome.
Why are you at Monica's house? Why are you playing with Leo? You killed his daddy.
And like, that's the kind of shit. Now, I'm not saying that you should say this to your child, whatever, but that is something that you like, someone who's more of like in the old school parenting style might say to their kid, right? Like, you shut that door in my face one more time. That's the last door you'll ever shut. That has gravity when you're speaking to a child. Now, am I condoning it? No, but whatever. I'm not a parent. But that to a grown-ass man in his own house? In his own house. I mean, it is Monica's house, but it's definitely more his house than Sunny's. Sunny, this is Monica Quartermain's house. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?
He's not a regular person. He is a person that will kill you, or he'll have somebody else do it, because I've never seen Sunny actually murder somebody.
Well, besides AJ.
Well,
Yep. Yeah.
and he almost killed Dante. He did do that on his own.
Did try, but incompetent. Didn't even do that. Point blank, still didn't kill
And
him.
almost and tried to kill Julian on his own, and did.
See how that turned
But
out.
also,
Maybe.
he's bad at this.
He's very bad. Yeah, and that's another reason why he's not working for me, because again, Selena is proving to be the better mobster. 100%.
100%.
100%.
I mean, I thought the point of Nixon Falls is that he was supposed to be different.
He's not different.
He's the same.
He's still the same
Worse.
petty, immature.
If there ever was a plot for Nixon Falls, they have lost it. Like, there's no through line here. There's no sense to be made.
Mm-hmm. And never ever working Cody.
I knew that was gonna happen. That's on your permanent list. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My permanent list. Even the idea of throwing Mac into the mix and hinting at, oh my God, could he be mine? No. That does not redeem you at all. You're still a waste of space and energy and time. Do not like you. Go away. Bye. Okay. I do not want to see it.
Who was making the horse sounds in the stable? Like, was that
It's me.
the role of the horse?
So I'm just working my way up so that when they boot Marcus, I'm just right there. Put me in. I'm ready. I've already, I already call Spencer my child. I've started calling Ava my wife. So I'm ready.
I'm ready to see it. I would like to see it. What's not working for you, Sandra? We have lost the plot.
We have run through it. I had top of the list, stable baby. I don't know that I have anything new besides, Tanya put it so succinctly. I don't want to see it.
Right.
I don't want to see it. It's not good. Honestly, I got where Mac was coming from. He was like, well, I don't need to tell him. I was like, yeah, agreed. End of story. The story's over. We just don't need. We can drop this plot. That was my energy. Just seeing Britt interact with him, all I can think is, I'm so happy you're gonna be on Station 19, Kelly.
Right.
Good for you. Like, that's all I can think. Whenever I see, I'm just like, this poor woman. Thank God she has her Emmy and she's out the door. Yeah, just no. And then I have Marcellus. What else is there to say? It's just not good. And I spent the most amount of time I've spent on Twitter in a long time after the Friday episode, because it was a great episode. So I was like, what do people have to say? I love that my feed was all either Nicholas Chavez is amazing and just like praise, glory, and then it was like Marcus is a goldfish. Marcus is terrible. Who is this disgrace? Not even just, it's the character, it's the actor. It is one of those places where the blurring happens because they're both bad. So like, I don't really have anything new to say about it, but I feel like I can't
not say anything.
This week go by without saying it didn't. Whatever he was trying to do did not work. He got the floor cleaned just in every scene.
Right.
He had a lot. He was on a lot. He was on with Charles. He was on twice with Nicholas and Maura. Like, thankfully everyone else is so good that it's not like it's tanking the storyline, like you were saying, Tracy. Like, it's not and in some ways it's working to have like, you know, the clear weak link. Oh, but just think about how good it would be if there wasn't a clear weak link, you know, and that it is both for our grace that everyone else is wonderful, but it does kind of heighten the fact that like, oh, and this would be so much better if he wasn't here. And then I had Sona. It's the Sona crew like continuum of story that Sona writing was I mean the desserts. And that's all I took away from it. The desserts. And Sunny just like trying to start shit with Michael. And then Michael, you know, doing what Michael does. But the fire was because crew was too horny to like turn off the grill. I don't know about this. Like, this was the harrowing, like, this was the danger that was in the spoilers for crew. I thought something was really gonna happen with them. Like, I thought, no, they were not in any danger at all. Everything was fine. And then it was Sunny with the shovel and the dirt. This is what we have this man doing. This is
probably wanted to do it.
And Nina running him and throwing her arms around him like, oh my God, Sunny, what happened?
It was embarrassing. So these four grown ass characters, this was their like big dramatic piece de resistance for the week. What's happening? Is really this like, y'all, this is what happens when you have people on too much. You just have them doing shit. Like literally just to do it. Like, I mean, I guess it's better than what they have been doing since crew actually like did some things. They do have chem. That's all they got.
That's all they got.
But it was, especially with how good everyone else was this week. You know, like even Chalin got their shit together. But then these are supposed to be our big hitters. Yikes. That's all I have to say.
Yikes. So this is not about what didn't work for me, but can we talk a little bit more about the Cassadines acting a fool with the Quartermains? Because I really loved it.
Yes.
Like the fact that they were doing this, because one of the things I talk about a lot is on days how they have that big ass picture of Stefano like over the whatever, like they had Edward and Lila on the fireplace like watching Nicholas and Ava like fight, and then like Victor and Valentine like slandering the wine in the kitchen.
I loved it. It's Will.
Well,
Valentine just like being like me, just opening like, well, fuck it, I guess if there's nothing else. Guess I do it.
Victor, he was like, oh, I didn't get into the party supply, I got into the personal supply. Okay.
Like I'm just like the Cassadines got a whole castle, a whole island, and they chose to act a fool at the Quartermains. I loved it.
It was so good. I loved Victor's, you have full use of all my legs. And Valentine being like,
So embarrassed.
Oh, it was amazing. So good.
The other thing that it highlights for me is, besides more, like we got to have more women Cassadines. I need a Helena, bring her crazy ass back. I know y'all are jealous, or like not jealous, but like embarrassed of Marcellus. Y'all gotta suck it up. Let her do her scenes with Nicholas.
And then let her and bring him back alive as Tyler.
Yeah, sure. I would love to see it. Like Sam's a Cassadine. Let's do something about this. I am still mad that like the string of Sam helping with Trina's trial was just like dropped.
Mhm.
What's going on here?
They only have dropped story for Sante. That's all they ever give them.
Isn't she still for Esme's mom or something?
Nanny. For the nanny.
Oh, the nanny. Yeah, so she's still doing something, but she should be in the mix. Like, that would have been funny to see her witnessing as well as Valentine, her witnessing Victor flirting with Lucy. That would have been hilarious.
Because she would have been absolutely disgusted.
Horrified. And then, yeah, I don't like Alexis or Nancy Lee, whatever her name is, but she could be, helping, the whole Nicholas situation, be like, what the hell, Nicholas? What are you doing? Yeah.
Well, I guess I moved us into hot takes. That we should do that.
Okay.
Curtis and Portia proposal, surprisingly cute.
But shady ass Trina about it, my favorite.
Oh, yes.
She was like, oh, the pool? I see how that could be romantic. Tommy had it like comedic timing. So good.
So good. Yes. I'm just saying it's surprisingly cute because they have not been cute. They have traditionally not been cute, not been root worthy. Like, and so is this what I would want for a couple I was shipping? No. Did it establish some sort of like grounding and a caring, loving adult relationship so that when the reveal happens, the paternity reveal happens, there's actually stakes? I think it did accomplish that. Sure. So again, I will never ship Curtis. It's not gonna happen because I love Portia too much. But I thought the proposal worked. Like, I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, get Danelle wet. Get Danelle as naked as possible and wet. And it did work. I felt endeared. I felt more endeared to Curtis for sure. That's a good strategy.
TJ video, that was so cute.
Yeah, that was part of what made it so adorable. When TJ did that, I literally yelled, "Why are you so adorable?" So cute. I also loved the Jordan and Marshall scenes.
Loved them.
So good. Both of them were great. It was nice to see. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting that scene. I wasn't expecting to be so moved by it. It was the first like real like meaty material I feel like they've given Tanisha. And so I was just delighted. And it was it also makes me wonder about if they're setting up the story so that Marshall doesn't actually have schizophrenia.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, because they keep talking about how he hasn't had any symptoms in a long time. Like, he just had the one episode, and it just keeps getting brought up again and again. And so it does make me wonder, like, was Marshall like actually being surveilled? I mean, what we know about the FBI, like, yes. Like, but I am curious to see if the show's going to go there. And I think that also him talking specifically to Jordan about that could be a way through. So that would be very interesting to me. And I just don't trust them to do the schizophrenia storyline. I think that could be a very beautiful storyline. I just don't know that GH has the range for that. But an FBI thing, maybe.
Yeah, I found that conversation to be interesting too, and that was exactly what I was thinking. I was like, where is this going? I appreciate, like, I'll keep saying that Marshall, like, he has found his groove now that they stopped having him talk in circles. I have really enjoyed him since he's been back with his family in good rapport with them. I just really love Tanisha being able to react, because I feel like this is the first scene that she's had that she's been able to react to someone. It's mostly been her like presenting information or like being in action. And I think being able to watch characters react like helps put us in their point of view and makes them more personal to us. And so I really appreciated like that's what happened in that scene, and that Marshall was so good in it as well. Like just those actors, those kind of like older, like veteran actors bringing in like the newer folks has been really nice to see.
Yeah, I thought that it was surprised at how it went, not only because of the conversation that they were having, but it really brought to me home the fear that Marshall had about his schizophrenia, the fact that I probably gave this to my son and my son probably died because of it. I mean, that really hit home to me. Okay, so now I see. Because it seemed a really kind of abstract, like, oh, I'm afraid of the stigma and all that. Yes, there is a stigma, but is that really a reason to leave your family over? I don't know. I was kind of iffy about, but him being afraid that this is something his own children will have to deal with, that was real for me, and I really appreciated that aspect being brought into the story, even if it didn't turn out to be that way. His fear of that was real. So yeah, he's still hot daddy to me though.
I get it.
I appreciate him and his character a lot more, but he's always going to be hot daddy.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
He does love hats, and he is a daddy.
That hot daddy attitude, like, you know, the way he talks, like he's in, even like he still brings in the jazz references.
One of my favorite things that he did was he was like, I gotta go down to the GH.
The GH.
The GH. I loved it.
Like, has got all of these unexpected blue notes, and I'm glad I can help you lay your burdens down. Like he was writing some blues song in that moment. Like he's gonna come out with a song, you know, because of that moment with his clarinet. Where's the clarinet? I need that to come back. Needed to be fixed. Maybe TJ can present it. Here, Grandpa, I brought you a new clarinet.
He can play backup for Chase. Eddie Main.
Next hot take.
Eddie Main Jr. and the hat. That's gonna be for acting.
Daddy, Eddie Main.
More hot takes from you?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of another Chase one, but I'm having a blank, unfortunately. Selena Wu's Bay. More. That wasn't enough. Give me more. Yeah,
why wasn't she at the picnic?
I would have loved at the picnic.
Should have been. Can I say something about Selena Wu that I had in mind? It's a Selena Wu Trina thing, which is that I was really happy to hear her say that everybody saw the trial, because something I was worried about with like Trina getting off was that she would still have to deal with people thinking she was guilty. This was going to be something that followed her around, and it might still be, who knows what they're planning, but I did appreciate her being like, oh, everybody saw this, everybody now knows, so now everybody now knows that she was innocent and like what happened and how she got off. So I appreciated that.
I have hot take. I'm slightly disappointed that Ava got, well, I don't know if it means that nothing's gonna happen. I was intrigued that Ava saw Austin and Crazy Cousin together, because that meant that Ava would be more involved in Austin's life, and I wanted to see that because I missed the friendship that she had with Franco. And I know Austin isn't Franco, but Roger Howard and Maura West is together are great.
Gimme.
I would love to see them in the mix together. So maybe it still could happen. Maybe she'll survive this and then be like, "What the hell? You know, you guys went after me. You know, get all in the mix of Austin's story. That would be great." But I love that. I love that she saw the threat, heard it loud and clear, and was intrigued by it.
I don't love Austin, but I do love Roger and Maura together. And it would be, if they could figure out how to make Austin's character more compelling. I do agree that he finally has something interesting about him. And nobody wants to see Roger Howard play a nice guy. Let's be real here. We don't want to see Roger Howard play a nice guy. He doesn't have to be like evil. He doesn't have to be like as dark as Franco or Todd. In fact, please feel free to not. But complicated, yes. But like just some nice guy from Patak, no one wants to see that shit. No. We already have like the only like super nice guy that we like is Chase.
Yep.
There's only room for one. So, and it's not Roger. Because we know Roger can do like so many other things. More.
Yeah.
So I would be, you know, if they're setting up a new romance for Ava with Austin, if they actually make Austin interesting, I would be down, because that is like the kind of scene partner that Maura deserves. And who knows?
Absolutely. Give it to me. Don't even, why would you tell me about it if I can't have it?
All I have to say about this Ava getting hooked thing is that this better be a storyline generator for Ava. I'm sick of it.
The hook thing was odd to me, because they had the hook raised up and then she gets hooked in the stomach. That didn't make sense to me. Like, she should have got hooked in the neck or something. Not to say that I wanted her to get hooked in the neck, but the way that the angle was, I'm really weird with my details, but I'm just like, it just didn't seem right. Like, if they did this kind of swing, that makes overhead swing, and so her getting hooked in the abdomen didn't make sense to me. I know it's weird, but that's my thinking.
No, I was with you until you said she should have gotten hooked in the neck, and that's where I had a hard time with it, Tanya. I had a hard time with it, but I see what you meant.
Okay. Right.
From a logistic standpoint, didn't make any sense.
We interrupted your hot takes. Please keep going.
Me?
Do you not have?
Portia and Anna Kim. I'm not surprised.
Yes.
Surprised. The Kim queens come together. Please make it happen again. I would love Anna to be in the mix of this paternity storyline even more. Why not? She's being very chaotic right now. And I'm a fan.
I love it.
And I mostly just had a note about how awkward Rory is. Like, I got stuck on this. Like, why they make him write comics? Is that supposed to be endearing? Doodling? Because and I know Tracy and you and I talked about this, but they made such a big deal about, I don't know anything about art. Bro, you draw. I don't know. Like, wouldn't that have come up at some point while y'all were getting together? It just seemed like they were like, we need to come up with something to make it even make any sense whatsoever why Trina would still be with this dude. And they were like, drawing. He likes to draw.
Oh, and Trina was so pretty on their date. Oh, she was so pretty. The eye makeup, so good. He did not deserve. You know why he didn't deserve? Because he's a carceral ass snitch.
That's all I got.
Well, you would think that would all I had, because carceral ass snitch could have been where I ended, but it's not. I'm more not about Rory, because that's enough about him. Michael hiring Dex for his past. Just some straight up Tracy Quartermain shit. You know what I mean? Like, so shady and like unfeeling, and I liked it. So
I admit I completely missed that.
yeah, so Michael and Dex looking like they were about to bump chicka pop out.
Right.
Were in like the boathouse or something, or the stables. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. And Kiki and Morgan's old place.
And they were like talking about, Dex was like, there's a problem. And Michael was like, no, I knew about your past. That's why I hired you, because you were gonna be whatever that Sonny wanted to be. And I was like, whew, okay.
Yeah, I must have dissociated.
Probably. I mean, they did like, you probably was like just saying, now kiss. You probably was like screaming at the screen.
Right. Right. That's probably what I was.
That mech ship. I find Portia and Curtis, I think they finally got their groove. I still find it very difficult to invest. And I don't want it. I don't want the paternity thing.
Yeah.
I want Trina to be Taggart. Let's move on.
I know.
Okay. Them writing Samantha McCall as jealous of Lulu. Be serious. Be serious. Even if she wasn't in a coma, we're not jealous. But we certainly aren't jealous of being asleep. Out of here. Sorry. My notes all over the place. When Sunny was like, Dante's happy for me, why can't you be? I was like, Dante is not happy for you. Dante is thinking about making sweet, sweet love to Sam. Mm-hmm. As Dom said that one time, and I've held on to it. He ain't worried about you. And also, shout out to Dante. I know that this is probably not what he meant, but it sounded so shady, because Sam was like, Rocco can bring whatever he wants. Shout out to Britt saying that Rocco was a dumb name, but Rocco can bring whatever he wants, like his mom. And he was basically like, Rocco good, Lulu can stay asleep. Like, it was just like very like, I'm sorry to any Latte fans who might listen to us. I'm sorry, but that show was funny. He's just like, oh, Rocco good, you know, he could bring some pictures, but he got a PlayStation and some food. He good.
You're gonna get Dom in trouble with the Lante fans again.
That wasn't Dom's fault. That was the writing.
He said it.
It was me.
He said it like he meant it. Because he
I'm gonna start a rumor.
Well, if Lante fans are listening to us, then they want to be hurt.
Yeah. I'm gonna start a rumor like, y'all heard Dom said Lulu can stay asleep, and he spelled it Loo.
I saw it. Told me. He told me because he was trying to get Tanya's number.
Yes. That's exactly what happened.
Now we're gonna get Dom in trouble with his wife.
I know.
Sorry.
We're the worst. I don't know why I wrote this. It was like, get carceral ass Rory, a cop with a CO friend, out of here. Not snitching, running in the friend group. Get away from her and get a different job. Why was I so upset?
Why wouldn't you write that?
Like, anyway, I said Nina was worried about Cruz so she could try to take Drew too. My mom said you took Carly's business. Finn. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Everything about it is a no. This was trying to bring Violet in it. Here's the thing. Every time we see Violet, Violet is just fine. Except for her shoulders look tired from propping up all these men. But she chilling by the pool. She having snacks. She at Kelly's. She got her headphones on. So
Yep.
they never
too much sugar.
Right. We ain't never seen Violet in distress from Liz. So don't say this. And I think that part of the story, I said this in one of Tara's spaces, I think, was that part of the problem with so much of Liz's stories are that they're not written for Liz, they're written for men. So like they brought her rapist back, that shit was about Franco. Franco died, that was about Cam. Now she's having this breakdown or whatever it is, and that's about Finn. And so we're not getting any Liz point of view. And I think part of the problem with the Fizzle story, in general, it's a problem. But the bigger problem is that we're not getting point of view from Liz. So it just looks like gaslighting from Finn. We're not actually seeing like real big mental breaks from Liz. We're not seeing it like we're not seeing it actually disrupt the life of anybody around her. And so we're just hearing Finn saying she has like mental health issues, which, like I said before, if that's true, then why are you trying to sleep with her in a barn on a fucking blanket, you weirdo?
Because he's a vampire. I literally just yelled, kill him, Liz.
Yeah, stay good. Where's Lucy?
I really wanted him to, I knew he wasn't the one that got the hook because the spoilers, but I thought maybe the spoilers could be wrong. Maybe they're leading us astray, but Finn or Marcellus. It's hard.
Yeah. Just like again, wrote how heartbreaking how Nicholas Chavez and as Spencer broke my heart. This line where he said, "I know what she is, and I know who you are. You're my dad. Please say something."
Please.
My God. I just was wrecked. Still wrecked right now. Give him all the awards, because I'm usually not a fan of that when people are like, oh, somebody had a good performance, give them a bunch of Emmys. I'm like, whatever, you don't even watch other things. I don't need to watch anything else. I don't need to. Give it to him right now. Mail direct. Thank you. We'll take it. I think that might be the last thing I had on my hot takes because we said everything else. Oh, you know what? Nope. I did something chaotic on the timeline before we started recording. So I saw, and this is my problem because I shouldn't have been scrolling before we got on to record. Somebody saying like, Carly fans called Nina a home wrecker, but how dare they? Because Carly wrecked not only Tony Jones' home but his life. Carly did not wreck Tony Jones' life. Tony Jones wrecked his life. Stop letting these men do this. What's wrong with y'all? And if we bringing up 1997 Carly, can I bring up 2018 Nina Reeves?
No.
Who said it was okay to bully Aiden? Because if Carly ruined Tony Jones' grown man's life, what was Nina doing to the child who was Aiden? Because honestly, that's when I stopped messing with that character. It has nothing to do with Sonny and Nixon. Like, I didn't mess with that character when it was still Michelle because I was disgusted. I was like, oh, it's really no writing this back for me. And I've been right the whole time.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, all of that's fair game. And I think that it's also just one of those things where I'm like, when you interact with like one or two weird people and then like put it on a fandom, I'm just like, here we go. So prepare for the receipts from all of the Ninas, or from both of the Ninas, because they both sucked. Did they not both suck?
Yeah.
Perpetual second choice. Glad that I'm saying, had she not always been second choice? She was second choice for Sam, or for Silas against Sam. She was second choice against Liz for Franco. And she was second choice against Anna for Valentine.
Also second choice to Ava for Silas.
For
The
Silas.
OG, actually.
Yeah. You're 100% correct. So, and while she was with Jax, she was kind of second choice for Carly too. So, whatever. Let me stop being shady in these hot takes. That's it. Do you have anything, Tanya, before we go to the week ahead?
I was actually I thought we were popcorning it, so I was just putting.
Sorry. Please go ahead.
But the only thing I have left is Willow. Tell the man you have leukemia already, because I'm tired.
Not falling out.
I'm tired of Tree holding out on her own health. She can't be just for the sake of Michael and his shenanigans. Stop it, Tree.
Because PJ said, if I was Michael, I would want to be there for you.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, I would prefer you to be there for me right now, because Michael, I need to babysit him.
Well, Sandra's favorite meatball Michael is coming back.
Meatball Mike.
All that. So excited.
Did y'all get COVID again?
I don't know.
The reinfection. I'm telling y'all. Turnaround is like a month. Wear your masks.
Welcome back, new Michael. We look forward to your scene.
New Michael.
Just speak it. Speak it into existence.
Well,
manifest it.
I want him to be New Morgan. But yes.
Okay, he can be Morgan. Just come back. He's good. I miss him.
Sandra, what is the week ahead for us? What does the week ahead hold for us?
Meatballs.
Meatballs.
Okay. I'm not familiar with this song.
I just made it up.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh.
So we won't get flagged.
This is an original composition. I see. Maybe it can replace the theme song. It's not quite what is that? Faces of the Heart? No, I better not sing it because I get flagged. Because GH can't even afford Faces of the Heart anymore. So I again did not break up the spoilers by theme, because we're still very much in the aftermath of the Quartermain picnic. So I'm just gonna share what's happening day by day, and then I would love to hear your reactions, reflections, predictions. Monday, Mac and Felicia make a realization. Ugh. Joss, y'all just get a DNA test already. Now, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do it by horse? Joss finds Ava in trouble. Sonny is upset with the way his family treats Nina. Is that a spoiler? It's just evergreen. Elizabeth opens up to Nicholas. Cody and Britt confront each other.
Again.
Finn gives Spencer some advice.
Get away from my child.
Get away from him. Stay away from my child.
Mm.
Tuesday, the town is in shock after tense events at the Quartermain picnic. Carly comforts Jocelyn in regards to her harrowing ordeal. I love to use the word harrowing. Finn, this is where I'm at. Finn and Elizabeth discuss their issues. No, just be over.
Over.
Kill him. I hope that's what. No, he's in the spoilers later on. He's still alive. After being questioned by the police about happenings at the picnic, Brooklyn confronts Drew about his feelings for Carly. How do those things go together? It's very weird. Okay. Victor and Spencer interrogate one another. So they both think that the other one hooked Ava. This was in Soap Opera Digest. And Spencer doesn't remember what he did, what he was up to the night before. And so it's like, ... Was it Spencer? We know it wasn't Spencer. Come on.
No.
My child does a lot of things, but hook Ava Jerome, that is not one of them. And Nina comforts Sunny. Wednesday, Trina anxiously awaits news. Anna makes an important realization. Valentine calls out Lucy.
Okay.
Finn questions Nicholas's motives. This is Spider-Man meme. Who is worse? Who is awful? Who is the most awful? It's you, it's you, it's you. Brando and Sasha clash.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
I know.
God, where are they at? What's the last thing? Is she home? She's still in jail?
I don't know. I think the last we saw her, she was in jail.
And it's been a minute because that happened around the time where Spencer was like, I got 2 weeks to report to jail. And then the last time we heard from Spencer, he had 2 days. Anyway.
Thursday, Elizabeth confides in Finn. Anna and Valentine come to an agreement. I hope it's to bang. Drew opens up to Curtis. Carly rethinks her decision. Jordan has questions for Victor. On Friday, Sunny demands answers from Nina. God, this is a lot of Sunna. Spencer has a nightmare. My child is suffering.
Yes.
Jocelyn takes
in jail?
No. Because Trina's party hasn't happened yet, and he's gonna be at Trina's party, we're pretty sure. So Jocelyn takes Cameron by surprise. Willow makes a decision. Dex is disappointed. What's most disappointing to me is that I initially read that as Dex is disappeared. And I was very happy. And I'm the disappointed one now, so joke's on me. And that is the week ahead for General Hospital. Who do we think hooked Ava?
I think Esme, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know folks were like, there was like a screenshot and you could see like a thumb. And people were like doing like a deep analysis of like the thumb before they put the glove on, you know, with the hook. And I was like, it's probably just a stand-in. They probably don't even know. Like,
yeah, she probably doesn't know yet.
They might Diego Alcazar Rory. It's Rory.
I don't want that because that won't even be interesting.
A boring hooking.
A boring hooking, and then it just makes Trina more miserable.
I know.
Not interested in that. I want Trina to break up with him because he's boring.
That'd be for the timeline directly.
Yes, like I want her to be like, sorry, babe, you're just boring.
Can you imagine the memes and the gifts that come from that? And Trina's like, you know what, Rory? Your brownies were nasty. And like I lied to you in the beginning. Your brownies were nasty and you're boring.
And your comics suck.
Actually,
what?
Your comics suck.
And that soda was warm. What if she calls him Soda Pop Cop? That would make.
Listen, Soda Pop Cop, you're boring.
Soda Pop Cop, that's bad. I want her to leave him because she wants to be with Spencer.
Sure.
Oh yeah, sure. Obviously.
No, I want her to tell him that.
Damn.
Be like, actually,
I'm going my prison bay, and you're too carceral for me. That's what I would rate.
You're too carceral for me and cheap. Because I deserve better.
And boring.
I took a class on the prison industrial complex, and
I know that you're just a cog in the machine.
I just can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. I don't think our values align.
Exactly.
I don't like you enough to be against my values. But I do like Spencer enough to be against my values.
I like Spencer enough to, shift my values so that they're in alignment.
But not enough for you.
Oh no.
Well, I just cannot get over how she just walked away from Rory. I was like, oh, sweetie. Oh.
There was no acknowledgement of a transition either. Of like, oh, I need to go. No, it was just, what?
Is that my bag?
Are you gonna be okay? Baby, you shouldn't be going to prison. You were gonna go back. You went back.
You got money in your books?
That's how eyeing her with those sunglasses on. We all know what was up. He had to hide this. He had to hide his eyes because.
Oh my God! Him with those sunglasses.
Just with those sunglasses, he knew he was staring right at her the whole time.
I loved it.
Any other thoughts about the week ahead?
No thoughts.
I just wish Finn would go away.
I know he's in every episode, basically, Monday through Thursday. And now he's in my child's story.
I don't want him anywhere near why is he with my kid? Why?
Because everyone probably was demanding scenes with Nicholas after the Emmy.
They're like, we need an Emmy scene. I need an Emmy reel. Put me with Nicholas Chavez.
Oh, but here's the thing is that you could never. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm being so rude. Maybe we should wrap it up. It's only gonna get ruder from here. I'm very tired.
I look forward to talking to you after the cameras are on. After we stop rolling. Also, y'all, I'm really, like I said at the top of the episode, I'm sad that we will not all be together again for a couple of a month or so. But next week will be a full year for us of Sunday Shift. And so just wanted to acknowledge that, appreciate y'all, appreciate everybody who's been rocking with us for a year. We'll try to do something special, maybe a space or something if we can get our schedules together. That feels unlikely, but we'll see. Just something short to commemorate this time.
If not, we can just also celebrate all Libra season long.
Absolutely. Always celebrating all Libra season. Dang, we really have been shipping Sprina together publicly for over a year. For a year, it's gonna be, and they still haven't kissed.
It's taken everything in me to not sing "You're Still the One" by Shania Twain.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get flagged over Shania Twain. If I'm gonna get flagged, it's gonna be over Beyonce.
10 across the board. Yeah. Damn. We've been shipping Sprina together publicly for almost a year. And they still haven't even hugged.
They've hugged, haven't they?
No.
I haven't
Hug.
No.
They've held
Maybe on a
They haven't even side hugged.
No. They almost kissed. That was kind of a hug.
yeah. Maybe they'll do another almost and then that's what I want. I want him to lift her up. And
You've talked about this.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's
No.
fine.
Yeah.
Lift her up
Go ahead.
and her legs wrapped around his waist, hands in the hair, open mouth, slobber. Not slobber, dignified slobber.
Dignified slobber. And on that note, a year together, when is Sprina gonna kiss?
When is Sprina gonna kiss?
Some configuration of us. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Y'all.
Gonna